your pal 6-speed here, and well, I kind of made a bit of a mistake, in a sense. We're doing a video on the Glasspar, and this is not really one that I want to do. Unfortunately, this morning I kind of had to do it. So I'm driving along. I was pulling the boat to work because we're going to go out boating immediately after. And as you can tell by this nice burn mark here on the fender, and how shiny this is here on the tire, I was driving along there, I got a huge cloud of tire smoke, and I pulled over and noticed the wheel was wobbling pretty bad, and it was rubbing against this fender. Well, I thought I might have broken a leaf spring until I came up underneath it and saw a little bit of that. That is a completely carnaged wheel bearing. I don't know if I should even try dicking around with this. So basically, you know, that's the cage. That's the inner bearing race, which is completely fused to the spindle. I'm thinking she's completely pooched, but I don't really know. I mean, I don't even see anything in there. The grease feels all gritty. It's just in bad shape. So, yeah, I made the mistake of believing somebody. I believed him when he said he repacked the wheel bearings, which was obviously a blatant lie, because these things have no grease in them. As you can tell by the way my trailer is now sitting on the road. So, yeah, instead of dicking around with trying to replace the bearings inside here, because the spindle's probably heavily carnaged, I'm just going to replace the whole axle assembly, new U-bolts. I'm going to try put new springs in it, and yeah, I screwed up. I really should have repacked the wheel bearings, but thank God it failed close to home. And it didn't fail on me while I was heading down to the cabin, or didn't fail while I was on my way to Christina Lake or down to the cabin or somewhere far away. So I thank my lucky stars. I had to get a tow truck to come in, gave me a tow dolly so I could lift the wheels up off the ground, and I just towed her back with the Dodge, and yeah, it was the end of that. So today we're going to be removing the axle. We're going to have a custom built one made. It's actually quite cheap. It's actually cheaper than than one that's prefabricated from one of the local auto parts / junk stores around here. So I think we're going to go with a good quality custom built one. It's only about 130 bucks. And in the meantime, I'm going to replace the leaf springs, and I'm going to try and replace the tires on it. I'm not going to screw around. You know, I don't believe anything this guy said. So Scott, if you're watching, yeah, you probably know a few choice 4-letter words I want to say to you. Anyway, I guess he won and I lost, but I guess that's what I get for believing some lying piece of garbage. Anyway, let's get started. So, first thing we need to do is we need to get this thing on a jack and lift her up and get her off the ground. Alright, so this is the wheel that's the good side. And I've noticed that there's quite a bit of bearing play in it. It still rolls pretty nicely. So the wheel's got a flat, the tire's got a flat spot in it. Now if we come over to this side here, this is the side that is, well, it catastrophically failed. Let's just see if we can pull the wheel off. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Like, just look at this. There's no nut on the end of this. The race is totally fused to the axle stub. And I don't even see a cotter pin in here. Oh, there is one, but it looks like it's sheared off. Oh man. There's just little chunks of stuff lying in here, pieces of roller. Like this hub is completely destroyed. There's no way this thing's savable. And that other side's still rolling. There is just... Oh, this feels like there's sand in it. So I'm guessing the inner bearing must be destroyed too. They're just chunks of roller and stuff. Yeah, I don't think this guy's savable. So, I guess the next step is let's try to get this axle out of here and see what we can do. Well, we got cage and inner race, and Lord knows where the other cage is. This is probably it. Chunks of it. The axle nut still threads on, but it's pretty beat up. Yeah, this bearing race has welded itself on there, and just this guy's just destroyed. I don't know if it's going to be savable. I think maybe just replacing the axle might be the best bet. This outer lip's pretty destroyed. So, guess that's my own foolishness for not repacking the bearings. You know what? I still would have bought it if he told me he didn't repack the bearings. I would have gone and repacked the bearings myself instead of believing him. This guy's a lying, conniving piece of garbage. This is a family-friendly channel, so I'm not going to say that he's a piece of shit. Yeah, this race has just welded itself on there. I don't think we're getting this guy off. Since I take this thing to the States all the time, it may be... I think I'm just going to play her safe and replace it. Yeah, this thing ain't turning at all. I think that we got some serious damage here. Alright, here goes absolutely nothing. Okay, that's... Oh, it's got it. There we are. Figures. Wonderful. Holy crap. As you can see by this piece hanging here, we also have a broken leaf spring, so looks like we're replacing those two. Alright, so it's about a week and a half later after I pulled the axle out. Had a custom build axle. Reasonable cost. It's got a nice bow in it because apparently they camber all their axles. I got 2 new leaf springs to replace the broken one that came out. This guy, I don't know, I might give away on Craigslist free stuff or something like that. So I'm going to put that shackle back in. The shackles are in really good shape. They're okay, and so are these plates. So we're going to reuse those. I've had to drill out the center so that they fit around the new spring bolt. So yeah, let's go put the axle back in. I got one more shackle pin bolt to coax out. They're all pretty much stuck in there, but yeah, anyway, bear with me. So let's go out there and finish.
We're going to take a little grease again and lubricate the spring eye bushing. Again, we don't want this coming in getting all worn out again. A little bit on the pin bolt. Now it's pretty recommended you replace these every time if you're going to take it apart. It cost me $12 for all the pin bolts and bushings, and the springs came with new bushings, so definitely a worthy investment. Let's go down a bit. Now as I'm tightening the bolt, it's actually pulling the bolt in. So again, you don't want it so, there you go, you don't want it so stiff that it won't move. You want it to be flexible. You also don't want it really to rock back and forth either. So it's kind of a fine, that's pretty decent. It's easier to get the front end first. Again, grease is your friend. This will prevent the spring eye bushings from wearing out. Use a good synthetic wheel bearing grease or something like that, because it won't degrade when you throw it in the water. Again, a little dab of grease on the pin bolts. Make sure that knurling is, well, that spring's nice and tight. It was pretty floppy before. Okay, so again, make sure you put the nut the right way, because this is the threads are deformed at the end of the nut, so you can't actually thread it on backwards. But you may spend many frustrated hours sitting there trying to, minutes maybe, but trying to figure out why the bolt won't go or the nut won't thread on. So don't do that. Don't be that guy. So again, basically just tighten this guy up. Now I only have one hand because of the camera. I also gave the trailer another coat of paint because the guy I bought it from did a really crappy job of it. He's just trying to flip it and sell it to some sucker, and that sucker was me. So, once again, don't be that guy. Now, if these shackles are in bad shape, please replace them. Don't reuse old ones that are in bad shape. But my shackles are in really good shape. So, we will be using them. No point in replacing something if it's still good, right? Yeah, look a little iffy, but a little coat of paint should fix that up, no problem. So make sure that you leave it a little bit so it can turn a little bit. So it's not too tight, because if it is, it's gonna toast. There we go. That's way better than it was before. It's going to wear this guy out real quick if you tighten him up too much. So I'm going to do the other side. No sense in watching me do it twice. Then we're going to put the axle back in. So basically the only real way to do this is to bench press it into place. So all good. Okay, so now what we do is we take our plate. Now, these are a little bit rusty, but I'm going to clean them up, or I'm going to paint them when I get them on. So, here are our brand new custom made U-bolts. Custom ordered with the axle, so we're just going to drape them over. There's two per side. Now, these are also going to get a coat of paint too, before we put her all back together again. Now we take our plate, and the U-bolts slide into the plate. So make sure the hole in the plate goes up into the spring nut. This one's a little tight. Because now I got to change to a different socket. To do it this one. Again, that's a real pain in the ass. Make sure these are good and tight, because these are what holds your boat up, or your utility trailer, or whatever you're doing. Make sure they're all relatively even when you're tightening them too. How tight do these have to be? Ludicrous tight. Absolutely. No margin for error with these. Because like I said, this is where all the weight of your boat pulls on these. If they're not tight, you might be losing your boat. So, since I care about my boat and it's irreplaceable, best to make sure these things are ludicrous tight.
Alright, so after dealing with the boneheads from Canadian Tire trying to get new tires on my trailer, it was the exact same price to just get a wheel and a tire. So over there I installed a spare tire carrier and the old weather-cracked tire as my spare. Turns out the idiot that installed the other one used the wrong size tire on that. So this is a common size for a trailer tire. Load range B, light little tire. This is a 480-12, so 12-inch wheel. Pull that guy off, and pull this guy off. So, trailer tires, when in a 4-bolt pattern, have a standard pattern. It's called 4-on-4, so 4 lugs, 4-inch bolt circle diameter. And again, with trailer wheels, they're pretty universal. So I noticed I got plenty of space around that entire thing. Alright, well, let's wrap this up. The trailer's sitting back on the wheels again, all nice and torqued down. I think that the wheel on the other side might need to be replaced because it seemed to almost indent this face in here. So, yeah, I'll have to figure that out. But it doesn't look like the wheel's bent or anything like that. It looks like it's rolling okay. So, yeah, new tire on this side. I fixed the lights because Scott, the piece of crap that we all know, decided he would run the wires along the bottom of the frame. So I ran them through the frame. I put the spare tire on. This is the old tire I had on it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyway, so that's the wheel bearing, or the whole axle replacement on the Glasspar. So hopefully I can get her out this weekend. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this, and you can follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/6speeddakota, Twitter at 6speeddakota, Google plus 6speeddakota, and always here on YouTube at youtube.com/6speeddakota. It's late. I'm going to go to bed. I got to shuffle some vehicles around. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this, and take it easy, everyone.